Hey Chicago, how's it going? Welcome to another market update. Today we're going to be covering the fourth week of the new year and discussing interest rates and inventory. Stay tuned. Welcome to another local market update with Rick Batista. Before we dive into all the fun numbers and data, as always, let's start off with a fun fact. Fun facts, market time. U.S. housing starts declined in 2022 as home builders scaled back production due to high construction costs, affordability challenges, and a pullback in buyer demand. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 1.55 million homes were started last year, a 3% drop from the previous year and the first annual decline since 2009. However, housing completions increased with 1.39 million homes completed in 2022, a 3.8% increase from the previous year when 1.34 million homes were completed. And certainly one of the biggest topics of conversation these days and something that might be pressing in many people's minds is interest rates. I think there's quite a bit of misconception or kind of fear-mongering going on. But the reality is that mortgage rates have been trending downward. There are some weeks where they're a little higher, some weeks where they're a little lower. But overall, the trend is going downward. In fact, in the last 90 days, we've come down a full point in the average 30-year fixed. And that can really mean a significant difference for many buyers or potential buyers. It could be the difference of asking the question, should we consider buying now or continue renting? Or with the change in rates, can we actually afford the home that meets our needs or even in the area that we'd really love to be in? So as the economy continues to do what it's doing, so when it comes to rates, we're just going to have to watch the economy and see what's going on, both anywhere from locally to nationally to globally, because that will very likely impact the rates as we approach the spring market. But even with rates going down, I'm certainly not anticipating the frenzy that we saw during the COVID market. But certainly we'll see more buyers. So we'll definitely see more active and serious buyers out there who are ready to put an offer on a place as soon as they love it, which may lead to buyers finding themselves in multiple bid situations. So be prepared for that and talk with your broker to see what the best approach is, depending on the property, the opportunity that you have before you. Now, a conversation and a concern for many buyers and brokers out there is the inventory of new listings. Across the country, we just need new listings. From mid last year and even into the third quarter, people were expecting prices to drop drastically, but that just didn't happen, and certainly didn't happen here in Chicago. But the fact does remain that there are less new listings than those in previous years. If we compare going back to 2017, well before the pandemic. In fact, across the nation, we wrapped up 2022 down by 21% year over year in new listings. This is not just the supply of homes out there, but the new listings hitting the market. If we look at the Chicago market, if you didn't catch our last monthly market update where we wrapped up the year, this is for residential property only. 2022 versus 2021 year over year changes, single family detached homes. That was up by 1.7%, and attached, being condos and townhomes, down by 20.7%. And stay tuned, keep on listening to this video where we'll cover the most recent data. To get back to new listings, what we were just talking about, if we want to take a step further, both nationally and locally, we're just simply not seeing a lot of new listings hit the market. And we might ask, if that is the case, why are we starting to see higher supply and the amount of available listings climbing? And it's simply due to existing listings staying in the market longer. So homes aren't selling, they're staying in the market longer, they have longer market times, and that's adding to the supply that we're seeing out there. So there are homes to choose from, just not a lot of new homes to choose from. But, as we look at the latest housing data, it's just a very interesting situation that we find ourselves in, where home prices are staying resilient, even while supplies are staying restricted. I think we're going into the third year of just continuously saying it's very interesting times that we live in. If we go back to 2016, nationally speaking, we are ahead of 2020 and 2021 as far as new listings go, but massively behind where we were in the pre-pandemic years. So as homeowners begin to assess their personal and financial situation, they can begin to see how much equity they have in their current home and ask themselves, how can we make that equity work for them? Could they use that money to start their new journey? Could they move or retire to an area or new state where the cost of living may be less, so their dollars can be stretched? That's obviously a concern for many homeowners, where if we sell, great, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? But you just have to make sure that the numbers are working for you. Or for some people who aren't ready to sell, they might just be looking to pull some equity out of their current home and think about buying investment property to find another property or properties to begin building additional equity for future power moves as they plan for their own retirement and or planning to get their loved ones and heirs set up for financial freedom, or at least closer to it. That's typically been the goal, right? To leave the next generation better off than the last. And I can't stress this enough. So often they're covering national information and national data, but Chicago is a very, very hyper-local market. What's happening in Chicago may not be happening in other parts of the country or even other parts of the state, and what's happening within Chicago isn't necessarily happening across Chicago, because neighborhoods change very drastically here, and home prices change and activity changes. So as you're watching the news, keep in mind that these predictions and forecasts that banks and other economic experts are making, they're changing their projections all the time. Before we were just looking at annual forecasts, and those days are just simply over because projections are changing drastically and quickly. Opinions are changing weekly, if not daily. And with everything happening in the world today, it's important to just follow the facts and stay positive, and let's all work together to not manifest the doom and gloom that mainstream media tends to push. As of right now, there's just no clear and apparent data that shows home prices are going to be falling or free falling and plummeting. And that's actually thanks to the lack of inventory. So from fun facts, we jump over to quick facts. We're looking at year-over-year changes. And please keep in mind that this is information and data provided by the Chicago Association of Realtors. It is for the week ending January 28th, 2023, and current as of yesterday, February 6th. New listings in the detached market were down by 3.3% year over year, and the attached, being condos and townhomes again, down by 35.2%. Under contract, 12.6% down in the detached market, while attached was down by 26.4%. Homes for sale up by 15.4% in the detached sector, while attached was down by 22.3%. Unpacking that a little bit more, we finished the week of January 28th with 265 new listings, which brought us to a 3-month average of 252, down by 7.4% year over year. And attached, we wrapped up the week with 403, 3-month average of 403, down by 28.1% year over year. Under contract, we wrapped up the week with 195 single-family detached homes, bringing us a 3-month average of 121, down by 35%, while attached was seeing 323 with a 3-month average of 178, down by 38.6%. Inventory of homes for sale. With detached homes, we wrapped up the week with 2,372, 3-month average of 2,693, up by 11.6% year over year. And the attached market, we wrapped up the week with 3,167, with a 3-month average of 3,726, down by 24.8%. So now that we covered all this information and data, what does it mean for you? Heck if I know. The only way we're going to find out is by having a conversation, because everybody's situation is different. Feel free to reach out to us. You have our contact information right down below. Call, text, email. I'd be more than happy to talk with you and get you even more information to make a better decision for you and or your family. With everything going on in the world, do not be afraid to make a move. We're here to help you. My name is Rick Batista. I appreciate you joining us today. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next week.